Futures and options on futures trading involve substantial risk and is not a suitable investment for all types of investors. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. When I use the word I in this video, it refers to what I teach in my charting course or what I author in my twice daily oral and written updates. Prices shown on charts and quote boards are in real time and take into account all known activity up to this point in time. And if you'd like to read more of this disclaimer, simply hit the pause key on your video player. Good morning, all. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your morning flash update for this Wednesday, the 16th of January, halfway through the month already, 2019. We're just after 9:20 a.m. Central Standard Time. Big up day, I think, in the stock market, not the super volatility. I think you can write off those super volatility days now for a bit. The market is responding to other things. I think the market is responding to China putting more money into their economy today. I think the market is looking at Brexit and going, okay, even whatever happens next, we're coming to the end of the deal and the worst seems to be priced in. That's one of the things. I think we're looking at stability in most of the other currencies as you're going through the markets right now. In the energy markets, very quiet. The numbers that we saw last night on the API were not good numbers. They were still showing, in my opinion at least, too much of a build in the products, being over 8 million barrels. Now we get the EIA number at 9:30. We'll see if that corrects anything or not. Bonds and notes drifting a bit, but again, we're still talking very, very muted Fed this year unless something changes. We're now starting to look at the grain stabilized. They got a bit oversold. And as I come on to all the news of the day, the NAHB, National Association of Home Builders, January 2019 housing index came out at 58. That's better. The market expected 56. The prior month was 56. Import-export headline recap. Import prices down 1%, expected down 1.5%, so not quite as much deflation being imported. Export, our numbers were down if you look at it, not as high as it was. Petroleum import, we know they were down, and they're starting to come back up, so you'll see that. Now, if a trade deal is not reached by early March, Mr. Lighthizer told legislators that he'll extend time for U.S. companies to request exclusions from the $2 billion in good tariffs that are going to be there. In their largest one day, I got grammar problems today, systematic cash injection by China, they put in $83 billion. So we know that they've lowered a number of the banking parts where the reserve ratios have been coming off. Now they're letting the local governments float bonds. We hear that they're going to do other measures to get the economy going. Here's a big injection. You put that together, the stock market likes it. We don't want to see that big trade partner hurt. On the other hand, I'm not reading that anything good is taking place on intellectual property. And if you think you're going to make a deal with China just on the goods alone without dealing with that, I think you're way off base. Another thing, you know, I put out today to Fox Business News, I don't understand why the president doesn't call on his buddies in banking, Jimmy Dimon and so on, and say, listen, for everybody that gets a direct deposit from the U.S. government in terms of their paycheck, federal employees that are laid off, why don't you make a short-term loan to them? We won't change where the direct deposit goes. Legally write up a piece of paper. I'm going to sign a paper that guarantees they get paid. Everybody could go back to work. They'd have money put into their account by the banks. The banks can charge a reasonable small fee for whatever time is taken over in terms of interest. I think the government wins a deal. I think the public wins a deal. Already Nancy Pelosi is saying the president should suspend the January 29th State of the Union because it will take federal employees that aren't being paid. I've just given you a way to beat all that with secured loans. Would somebody please pick up on that? It might be a good idea. Last, I'm going to be starting a subscription that I have never done, only for my morning video. So I'm keeping my other subscriptions where I write, give commentary. But if you want to join just that, at a very, very reduced price. And that's where I say buy here, sell there. Here's a day trade idea. Here's what I think the pros are doing. I'm going to be having an ad coming out on that maybe as early as this afternoon. Keep tuned for it. like to let you try that. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day. I'll see you all later this afternoon with our end of the day videos.